Good evening, everyone. This is Srinivas Lakyam. Are you hearing me? Yep. Myself, I'm A. Srinivaslu. I'm having 10 plus years of experience. I worked on Java, J2EE, and currently I'm working on Hadoop, Spark, and Scala. I have exposure on AWS and Hadoop administration. So I worked on Hadoop admin and I worked on the cloud environment and VMware. So I worked on virtualization. So total, I have completed 10 plus years of experience. In the 10 plus years, almost in all projects, I used Linux. So, so we used servers deployment and servers are, we install servers in Linux environment and we deploy our Java applications, Hadoop applications, Spark applications into Linux servers. So around, I have complete 10 plus years of experience on Linux, Unix. So I worked on Unix server, Unix Solaris. So I have exposure on Red Hat Linux, CentOS, and Unix Solaris. Okay. So this is my personal experience. Coming to our class. So first let's start with history of Unix. History of Unix. So what is Unix? So before Unix, we have Multics. Multics. So Multics stands for multiplexed multiplexed information computing system. Multiplexed information computing system. So this operating system was developed in 1965. 1965, uh, implemented by GE, MIT, etc. So these are the companies implemented Multics. Based on this Multics software, there is one more software is introduced, Unix. UNICS, Unix. So the Unix stands for uniplexed uniplexed information computing system. Information computing system. So this was introduced in 1969, 1969, implemented by Ken Thompson. Ken Thompson. Ken Thompson implemented this Unix flavor. So based on this language, this operating system, there is one more operating system was introduced, that is called Unix. This Unix is completely implemented completely implemented by using C language. By using C language. So implemented by Ken Thompson, and Dennis Ritchie. Dennis Dennis Ritchie. Dennis Ritchie is father of C language. So both Ken Thompson and Dennis Ritchie implemented this Unix operating system. Unix operating system. Unix operating system is open source. Unix operating system is open source. Operating system is open source. What is open source? So everyone have a doubt. What is open source? What is open source? Open source means they give us complete source code. they give us complete source code. Complete source code means, so whatever the programs they developed for Unix operating system, they give us complete source code, and it is completely free. It is completely free. So based on this Unix operating system, there are multiple operating systems was introduced. Based on this Unix operating system, there are multiple operating systems was implemented. They are Sun Solaris and IBM AX and HP UX operating system. There are multiple Unix flavors are introduced, and there is one more operating system was introduced, Linux. There is one more operating system was introduced, Linux. So Linux operating system is also is a open source operating system. Linux operating system also open source. So based on this Linux flavor, there are multiple operating systems introduced. Based on Linux, open source, 600 plus operating systems was introduced. 600 plus operating system 600 plus operating systems are introduced. Based on this Linux operating system, open source, 600 plus operating systems are introduced. In that 300 plus active operating systems are available. Active operating systems are available in the market. Available in the market. $600 plus operate in that 600 plus 300 plus active operating systems are available. The popular uh, Linux flavor operating systems are Red Hat Linux, CentOS, Ubuntu, Fedora, SUSE, etc. There are multiple operating systems in the market. These are most popular operating systems. So in that 300 plus, there are some other also popular. So I'm listing few operating systems: Red Hat, CentOS, Ubuntu, Fedora, SUSE. So these are popular Linux-based operating systems. So based on Unix flavor, Linux operating system was implemented. This Linux operating system is open source. Based on this Linux operating system, there are plenty of operating systems introduced. In that, popular operating systems are Red Hat Linux, Oracle Enterprise Linux, CentOS, Ubuntu, Fedora, OpenSUSE. Some are popular operating systems are there. So this Linux operating system is implemented by Linus Torvalds. So Linus Torvalds implemented this Linux operating system in 1990s. So this Linux operating system was implemented. It's a completely open source. Based on this Linux operating system, many Linux operating systems are implemented. These Linux operating systems are called Linux distributions. Linux distributions. So all these operating systems are called what? Linux distributions. Okay. So first coming to Linux features. Linux features. Linux features. So these are main important features of Linux. So first, it is a open source. Linux operating system is open source. Open source means they give us complete source codes. They give us complete, complete, complete source code. So Linux is completely open source and it is multitasking operating system. Multitasking operating system. You can execute multiple tasks parallelly. So multiple tasks can be executed parallelly. Can be executed parallelly. So this is the advantage of Linux operating system and multi-user operating system. At a time, multiple users can log into this operating system. They can do their work. So it is a multi-operating system. Multiple users can log in at a time, and they can do their work. They can do their tasks. Their tasks parallelly. Parallelly. So this is the advantage of Linux operating system. So multi-user operating system. Multiple users can connect with this operating system and they can work this operating system. We have a tools like, see, we can install Linux server in remote location. Assume I'm installing this server Linux operating system, Linux server in my remote location. Assume I'm installing in USA with some IP address 192.168.10.11. Assume this is public IP. So in this, they will create users. So in this system, they will create users. Users. So user 1, user 2, user 3, like this, they will create as different users for employees. Then they can connect to this mission remotely from using different tools like Putty. Assume this is my Putty software. So I'm using my Windows mission. So this is my Windows mission. Windows mission. From Windows mission, I'm connecting this mission. I'm using Putty tool. So it's a client tool to connect Linux mission. So what I'm doing here, I'm providing username and password. So first I use IP address, IP address, IP address. Next username and password to connect this mission. So it uses one protocol called SSH protocol, stands for Secure Shell Protocol. It uses Secure Shell Protocol to connect to this mission. So here, once we connect, it gives us Secure Shell. Whatever the commands we are typing here, those commands are going to execute in remote mission. Like this, multiple users can connect to this mission. Multiple users can connect to this mission throughout the world. Throughout the world, multiple users can connect this mission. Multiple users can connect this mission. Multiple users can connect to this mission. There is no limitation. N number of users can connect to this server and can do their works. So it's a multi-user operating system. Linux is multi-user operating system. And next, very, very important is it's a portable operating system. See, why we are saying it is a portable operating system means, if you go for Unix flavors, I said Sun Solaris is one of the Unix flavor operating system. Sun Solaris is one of the Unix flavor operating system. So we have Sun Solaris. Sun Solaris gives better results, 100% better results, 100% better results when you use Sun hardware. Sun hardware. So now it is Oracle. Now it is Oracle. If you use IBM AX with IBM hardware, IBM AX with IBM hardware, so it gives 100% better results on IBM hardware. So if you use HP UX on HP hardware, it gives better, good results. HP hardware. So if you want to get better results, 100% better results, if you install HP UX on HP hardware, it gives 100% better results. But for Linux is not specific to Linux is not specific to hardware. Not specific to hardware. Linux is not specific to hardware. Portable means it's not specific to particular hardware. You can install Linux on any operating system. Sorry, you can install Linux on any hardware. Linux on any hardware. It is not strict to specific hardware. It supports all types of hardwares. Okay, and it supports what? Any type of hardware. It is not specific to any hardware. So you can use Intel hardware, you can use AMD hardware, you can use Oracle hardware, you can use IBM hardware, you can use HP hardware. So portable means you can install Linux operating system on any hardware. So this is not specific to particular hardware. That's why most of the people preferring Linux as their operating system. And next one, reliability. So there are many servers running without restart. So there are many Linux servers still running from last 10 years onwards, 10 to 15 years onwards. They didn't restart yet. Still they are running. So it gives more reliability. If your hardware is reliable, then your operating system also be reliable. So Linux is more reliable operating system. Still some servers are running without restart from last 10 years onwards. So this is the advantage of Linux operating system. And Linux and Unix operating systems main advantage is these operating systems are reliable operating systems. If you go for Sun Solaris, last 15 years onwards, they are still running without a single restart. Same Linux also, there are many servers are running without a single restart. So this is the main advantage of Linux and Unix operating systems. If you go Windows operating systems require restart. Windows operating systems requires restart. But here, these operating systems doesn't require restart. These are 100% reliability operating systems. Okay. And next, very, very important topic in Linux is Linux file system architecture. Linux file system architecture. Linux file system architecture. Here I'll compare Linux operating system file system architecture with Windows. In Windows, so we are seeing C drive is main drive, right? C drive is main drive. In Windows, C drive is main drive. So whatever the softwares we install, those are installed in C drive. So C drive is very important drive. Whenever we restart, it will start booting from C drive. That's why most of the people says, don't store your documents or your files into C drive, because if you restart, it will take more time for booting. That's why people not recommended to store data into C drive. Okay, C drive is very important. Like this, we have in Linux. So let's see the file system architecture. So this is Linux file system architecture. Linux file system architecture. In Linux file system architecture, this is root file system. Like C drive in Windows operating system, this is root file system. Root file system. So in Linux operating system, everything treated as file system. Whether it may be file, whether it may be directory, everything treated as root file system. So in a Linux, slash means root. This is root file system. Under root file system, there are many file systems. So we have slash boot, slash root, slash home, slash usr, slash sbin, slash bin, slash dev, slash etc, slash mnt. There are multiple sub file systems. So we'll discuss some important file systems here. See, slash boot contain all bootable files. All bootable files. Whenever we restart or whenever we start Linux file system, it reads slash boot file. It never touches remaining files. It never touches remaining files. Remaining file system. It directly calls slash boot, and it it will read files presented in slash boot, and it will start Linux file system. Okay. So here for slash boot we allocate maximum we allocate max we allocate 800 MB. Maximum we allocate 800 MB. So it contain only booting files. So in C drive, if you store data, what will happen? It will take more time to boot, right? So there is no specific file system. We don't know what is the specific file system presented in Windows, but in Linux we have slash boot. This file system contain all bootable files. So whether your system may have any number of files, it will start only from this file system, so that it will start very faster. So slash boot is very, very important. And next one, slash root is another important file. Slash root is another important file. Slash root is the home directory of root user. Home directory of root user. In Linux we have two kinds of users. Linux we have two kinds of users. Admin and non-admin. Non-admin. Admin and non-admin users. So admin users are, the default admin user is root. Root is default is default admin user. Default admin user. So default admin user in root. Yes, sorry, in Linux operating system. Whenever you install Linux operating system into your system, there is one user called root. So while installing, we provide a password to this root user. While installing, we will provide password to this root user. So root user is main administrator in Linux operating system. So for this root user, it will allocate memory home directory in this location. Okay. Next, there is one more directory called slash home. Slash home. It is a home directory. It is a home directory for normal users. Home directory for normal users. It is a home directory for normal users. Home directory for normal users. Assume if you create user, user name Srinivas, username Srinivas. If we create user name Srinivas, if we create user name is Srinivas, then 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 user creation statement creates home directory, creates home directory for this user, under slash home with username. So for every user, it will create home directory under slash home, under slash home it will create one directory with name username Srinivas. So this is the home directory of normal user location. So if you create any user, by default it will create home directory under slash home. By default it will create home directory under slash home with username. So if you create user one, if you create user one create user u1, and it will create one more directory under slash home with u1. So for every user, it will create home directory under slash home. So slash home is very important file system. Here it contain all users home directory. If you don't want to create user's home directory in this location, you will change user home directory at the time of user creation. We will discuss how to change user's home directory in user management class. In user management class, I will show how to create user. If you create user, it will create home directory in slash home. If you don't want to create under slash home, if you want to use different directory, then how to change user's home directory while creating, we will discuss as part of user management. Okay. So for every user, it will create directory under slash home with username. So this is one of the important directory. And we have slash user. So all softwares installed in this location, all softwares installed in this location, installed in this directory, okay, it contain all software installation location. And next there is one more slash etc. It contain configuration files, configuration information files. So all software's configuration files are presented under /etc. Example, see, I want my host name, my system host name. So there is a file called under etc/hosts. This file contains mapping of IP address with host name. So every software configuration information present and under /etc. And there are some directories like /bin and /sbin, /bin and sbin. /bin contain commands. /bin contain commands which are for both admin user, both admin and non-admin users. Non-admin users. The commands which are presented under admin /bin is for both admin user and non-admin user. The commands which are presented in sbin, the commands which are presented in this drive, which are presented in this drive, in this directory, in this location, only for admin user, only for admin user. The commands which are presented in sbin only for admin users. So there is one more directory, one more important directory under root file system called /lib. This lib contains all executable binaries, all executable binaries, So I said the commands which are presented in bin, the commands which are presented in sbin, every command is one separate program, right? So if you are typing command means internally there is a program running, that program is giving results back to us. So commands are located here, but their code is presented under lib directory. So all executable binaries are presented in lib directory. And there is one more important directory /opt, stands for optional. So all third party softwares, installed in this directory, So if you are installing third-party software, we download and place that software tar files or RPM files in this directory, then we will install. So all third-party softwares installed in this directory. So there are some other directories, but these are main important directories under root file system. Okay. Up to now, do you have any doubts in? Up to now, do you have any doubts? Yep. Tell me. Okay. So today class, let's see how to install Linux operating system. How to install Linux operating system. As part of this course, I am showing how to install CentOS. I am showing how to install CentOS. How to install CentOS operating system. Most of the production servers are running on CentOS operating system. It's completely free. No need to pay license. No need to pay single rupee. So it's completely free. It's completely free. In Linux, we have two kinds of flavors. In Linux, we have two flavors. Two flavors. Debian flavor, and Red Hat flavor. Red Hat flavors. Debian flavor and Red Hat flavor. So Debian flavor operating systems are Debian, Ubuntu, etc. Red Hat flavors are Red Hat, CentOS, Oracle Enterprise Linux, Oracle Enterprise Linux, etc. So little syntax wise different in Debian flavors and Red Hat flavors. Syntax wise, little difference in Debian and Red Hat flavors. Whatever the commands we are learning as part of basics Linux is common for both the environment. Okay. And here, what I'm doing, I'm installing CentOS operating system. So Linux installation. So first download. So to install Linux CentOS, we require operating system. So we require what? CentOS download. So we need specific hardware. We need hardware to install operating system. But here, what I'm doing, instead of installing this machine in separate bare metal system, what I'm doing, I'm installing in virtualization software. So I'm installing. We need virtualization software. So here, what I'm doing, I'm installing in VMware workstation. There are other virtualization softwares available in the market called VirtualBox. So some people like this VirtualBox, some people like VMware workstation. But as part of our course, what I'm doing, I'm installing VMware workstation in my machine. Then I'm installing CentOS in VMware workstation. So little difference in VirtualBox and VMware workstation. Both are uses hardwares. So main advantage of virtualization software, it shares hardware. So main utilizing hardware. Main advantage of virtualization software is utilize hardware, because nowadays we are seeing high-end hardware systems. So we are seeing Core i3, Core i5, Core i7 processors, and we are getting RAMs like 8 GB, 16 GB, 32 GB RAMs, and we are getting hard disk like 1 TB, 2 TB kind of hard disk. In olden days, we didn't see this kind of hardware. So in 2006, at that time, if you have a 40 GB hard disk, 40 GB hard disk means you are a great person. But nowadays, GBs are very cheap. So we are having TBs of memories. So there are virtualization softwares are introduced to utilize these hardwares. So virtualization softwares saves RAM, hard disk, and CPUs. Okay. So instead of installing this Linux machine on separate hardware, what we are doing, we are installing virtualization software. In that virtualization software, we are installing in CentOS. So you can download VMware. You can download VMware from vmware.org. Let's go Google. and search VMware Workstation download. VMware Workstation download. VMware Workstation download. So here you will see first link, download VMware Workstation, or you will see one more link called download VMware Workstation from FileHippo. So FileHippo also one of the trusted website. You can download the latest version from FileHippo. You can download latest version from FileHippo. So you can download it. It's a 487 MB. You can download from FileHippo, and you will get exe files. Double click on that exe file, and mostly we click on next, finish. You will get 30 days trial version. You will get what? 30-day trial version. You will get 30-day trial version. So you can download from FileHippo, or you can download from VMware authorized website. So FileHippo also, it's a trusted website. So you can download it from any one of the location. Once you download, you will get exe file. So that you can double click on that exe file, click on next, finish. So once installation is completed, you will see icon in desktop like VMware Workstation. So before creating virtual machine in VMware Workstation, let's see how to download CentOS. So next one, download CentOS. Download CentOS 7. So the CentOS 7 is latest version. CentOS 7 is latest version. We can download CentOS. We can download CentOS from CentOS.org. CentOS 7 download. Search Google, and here you will see first link. Here you will see first link. Click on this first link. Here it will show three options: DVD ISO, everything ISO, minimal ISO. So here you will see options of DVD ISO file. So it's around 4 GB plus, 4 GB plus, everything ISO file, everything ISO file. So it's around 8 GB plus, 8 GB plus, and minimal ISO file. So it's around 900 MB, 900 MB. Both these two are provides graphical user interface and command user interface. Both these two are provides graphical user interface and command line interface, but it will provide only command line interface, COI, command line interface. So initially, while practice purpose, let's go for any one, first one and second one. So DVD ISO contain less softwares installed. Everything ISO contain many softwares installed. So once you set up and configure, once you start installing, it will install many third-party softwares in it. Okay. So it contain more softwares. It contain less softwares, less third-party softwares, but it contain more third-party softwares. It contain more third-party softwares. Third-party packages, we say packages. Instead of softwares, we can say each one is package. And in minimal ISO, everything we have to download. We have to download and install. download and install. So here we have to download and install whatever the required softwares in this machine. It contain only very few softwares installed in it, including Java. Everything we have to download and install in this minimal ISO. So it is recommended to download either a DVD ISO or everything ISO. These are recommended for practice purpose, because once we get command, then go for minimal ISO. Go for minimal ISO. Okay. My recommendation, download this DVD ISO. It's 4 GB. Instead of downloading this fuse file, download DVD ISO. Download DVD ISO. DVD ISO file. So click on this DVD ISO file. Click on this DVD ISO file. Here you will see different links. So these are actual countries. These are nearby your system. So click on any one of the mission, any one of the link. It will start downloading. It will start downloading. I have already DVD ISO file. This is 4.16 GB. So I have already downloaded. Click on this DVD ISO. Tomorrow we'll see how to install. Before this, we do some configuration in virtualization. So let's see how to create VM in VMware Workstation. See, I am covering all basics in these 5 days. So because some people don't know about anything about Linux operating system, some people may know about some concepts in the Linux operating system. I'll cover complete basics so that anyone can work on Linux operating system. My intention is everyone can work on Linux operating system. Everyone can install softwares in Linux operating system, and everyone can work on Linux operating system. Okay. So here, how to create VM in VMware Workstation. So before installing Linux operating system, we will create pre-installation steps. This is called pre-installation step. So as part of pre-installation step, we see practical. Once we install VMware Workstation, so this is VMware Workstation. Double click on this VMware Workstation icon. If it is not presented in desktop, search VMware in search bar. You will see VMware Workstation Pro. So I have already installed some Unix flavors here. Let's first assume you have empty here. You can create a new virtual machine by clicking on File, New Virtual Machine, or here this is called Explorer. Right click on here, click on New Virtual Machine. Here you will see two options, typical and custom. Typical and custom. What is the difference between typical and custom? If you use typical, it will allocate memory for file systems presented in Linux. So we discussed these are different file systems, right? These are file systems. If you want to allocate for root directory, you want to allocate specific memory. For boot, if you want to allocate specific memory. For root, if you want to allocate specific memory. For OPT, if you want to allocate specific memory, then we go for custom installation. Custom. But here I'm using typical. So internally, Linux will take care allocating memory for this one. As part of this installation, let's go for typical. Click on next. Here you will see three options. One is install disk. Assume you have a DVD ISO file. CentOS DVD ISO file. In your system, you have a DVD drive. Insert DVD ISO file, CentOS DVD ISO file into DVD drive. Then select this option. but you are downloaded ISO file from CentOS.org. You have ISO file in your system. Then use these two options: install disk image and select this option and select the directory location, or you can select I will install the operating system later. Both are same purpose. Both are same purpose. There is a difference between this one and this one. In some operating systems, they will ask key, right? Some operating systems ask key, right? If you select this one, it will ask key. Before installation only, it will ask key here. If you select this one, it will not ask key. After installation, it will ask key, if it is a licensed version. But CentOS is completely free, right? So it won't ask any key. So let's select this one. I will install the operating system later. Okay, click on next. Here, these are different operating systems list which are supported by VMware Workstation. In this, we are installing Linux, right? Select Linux. Here you will see all Linux supported, all Linux flavors of all Linux distributions. In this, we are installing CentOS 764, right? Select that one, click on next, and here give your name to your virtual machine. I'm giving name is it's Linux evening batch. Linux evening batch. I'm giving name is Linux evening batch, and here it is creating VM supported files in C drive. But I don't want to create VM supported files in C drive. I want allocating separate location. In my system, I have separate F drive. In that F drive, I have softwares location. In that softwares, I have separate VM. Under VM, I have VMware related folder. Under this one, I am creating Linux evening batch. I'm creating folder. I'm selecting this folder path. I'm selecting this folder path. So it is recommended to select a different location other than C drive, because if you store C drive in all VMware files, it occupies more memory, right? Then it will take more time to boot your C drive. So that's why I'm selecting different drive. Next, to click on next, and here it is asking hard disk space. So here I'm giving 30 GB. It's recommended minimum of 30 GB. Click on next. Here there is an option called customize hardware. Here you see RAM, how much RAM you want to allocate for this line operating system. So in my mission, I have 16 GB RAM. So I am allocating 2 GB for this operating system. And if you want to allocate multiple processors, I said we have Core i3, Core i4, 5, Core i7, Core i7 with 4 cores, Core i7 with 8 cores. Like that, we are getting processors in the market. Then you can allocate a number of processors here. And this is network adapter. Here you will see some options. In this, select a bridge. I will explain tomorrow why we are selecting bridge here. And next, select this DVD drive, and here use ISO image file, and select where you downloaded ISO file. Assume I downloaded ISO file in softwares. So this is my DVD ISO, and select this ISO file. Click on close. Click on finish. You will see one name Linux evening batch here. When you click on power on this virtual machine, then it will start installing operating system. Then it will start installing operating system. Okay. Tomorrow class, we will see how to install Linux operating system and what are the options we need to select. Tomorrow class, we'll see everything. Okay. Tomorrow class, we'll start practicals. So these 5 days is complete practical. There is no theory. Theory means we discuss about only command. Okay. Everything is practical.